Hi, Kai. How you doing? All right, let's go and take a look. So I was reading through your writing. Good job here. Good job describing your methodology and your conceptual development here. This is very good, and it's really important for student designers to be able to express and communicate their intent as designers, because basically for the rest of your career as a designer, once you hit that point, you're going to be asked to make justifications for all of your design decisions. So it's really important that you're able to start that now and do so expeditiously, as we see right here. So good job. Let me go ahead and jump right over to the banner. And one thing I want to mention is that the video, the Welcome to Week 6 video, does recommend that you include the magazine ad here so that we can compare the two, just to make sure that we have a high degree of consistency in your campaign. I don't see the magazine ad placed here, so we'll just go ahead and jump right over to the banner ad, which I have up right here, but actually it does fit in the window. Let me just reduce that a little bit so we make sure that fits in the window. And I think the banner ad, there we go. I just wanted to make sure that's all right, perfect. Okay, so the banner ad's good. I mean, I think the crop is pretty cool. I really do. I think that yeah, the crop works. There's enough information here to know that it's a family and to know that it's actually very recognizable as a extension from the image of the magazine ad. So I think the crop is pretty interesting. One thing, boy, I want to say, the one thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit is the kid being dead center in the composition. But unfortunately, you're kind of stuck here, because if you move it left or right, let's say we move it left, then we have somebody's butt right in the ad, right? And that's probably not the best thing in the world. So this is good, and I thought this through when I looked at it, and I think it's a good crop, and I think that you probably thought about that. That's the reason you cropped it as such. So nice job here. Okay, one thing I do want to mention is I think that there's some elements in the ad that are a little bit too large and a little bit too bold. So too bold. I think this address here you don't need to present that in bold. You don't even, I mean, you can even just say St. Thomas VI. I mean, you don't even really need all that, but I would not present it in bold. It's drawing too much attention to itself. The logo also, I think the logo is a little bit large. I think once we recompose here, redistribute some of the visual weight associated with this assignment, I think that'll make a lot of sense. All right, first things first, let's reduce the size of the headline. I think it's too large. Watch my cursor, something like this. Oh, and bring it down. You don't want that sitting right on the edge. It looks like it's about to break the page here, and it's just kind of uncomfortable, as there's no top margin between the edge of the document and where the type starts. So move it down a little bit or decrease the size. Watch my cursor, something like this. Okay, and then reduce the size of the subhead accordingly, and also don't forget, well, maybe something like this, yeah. And then don't forget Arial bold italic for the subhead. Right now, the subhead's going to be a little bit difficult to read. You took care of our family, let's take care of yours. One option here is I don't like placing things in boxes, but to improve legibility, readability, you could consider duplicating the type, placing it, changing it to white, and then placing it behind the purple type and offsetting it a little bit. That's going to create a nice, it's not a drop shadow, but it's kind of a 3D effect, kind of, and it works. It works very well. It's much more effective than trying to draw attention to that area using any other technique. Try to be subtle if you do that. I mean, I'm okay. I think you can read this just fine, but let's see what happens when we reduce the size here. So reduce the size of the subhead and the headline, move it down a little bit, change the typeset to Arial bold italic on the subhead. Military families and veterans, I think that we could probably bring this in a little bit. I would indent that flag a little bit to about right here. Then find something that you can, let me see something real quick. I just want to check some alignment here. Yeah, you're close to being aligned. In graphic design, things should align. Everything should be aligned with something, right? So if we take that animated type, we see you're almost in alignment with that E. So why not pull it over and align it with the E? Okay, and then also I would move that up a little bit. And again, speaking of alignment, you can take the bottom of the logo, okay, and use that to align your type right there. Okay, and then, as I said, reduce the weight on the location. You can even reduce the size of the logo. Okay, so logo, something like that, and you can reduce the size of that, take the bold off, and place it right up here. Try those. Oh, and also I would move the flag in a little bit. You might even take that flag, since we're going to recompose that. That might even be a little large. That's actually, that's larger than the subhead. So you got a little bit of compromised hierarchy here. You want the viewer to look at the headline, the subhead, then the call to action. So I would reduce the size of this a little bit, align it to the E, and that's going to bring in a little bit. You might even be able to move it over a little bit and align it to the end. That's going to create a little open space. You can indent that flag a little bit, see if you can get that flag post in alignment with the beginning of the type there. Okay, that's it. That's it, man. Those are my recommendations. So I'll tell you what, if you want to make those changes and repost, go right ahead. But at the very least, I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission, which is coming up quickly here during week 7 next week. So if you want to make those changes and resubmit, please do so. I'll be more than glad to provide additional comments. If you do decide to do that, please include your magazine ad so we can check consistency. All right, very nicely done. Kaya, great start. Thank you. Again, most important thing at this point is to let me know if you have any questions at all. Thank you very much.